Okay, come. You lie down? Do you lie down? Every time I do a video, Mocha seems to want to get out of her bone, or if I'm on the phone. This was a big thing when I was doing the podcast. She would always find a bone and start chewing on it. So hopefully, you won't really hear it with the microphone that I've got. But and hello everyone. It's been a little while since I've done a video talking in front of the camera like this. But Happy New Year. I'm starting to get back into a routine after Christmas. So yeah, I thought I would just sit down and do a little video and a little bit of a chat. Last year was quite a big year for me. My partner Joy and I and Mocha. We decided to make the big move and moved all the way down to Cornwall from the Midlands. Um, this was something that we've been planning and wanted to do for quite a while, and we finally got the opportunity. Everything seemed to be kind of in the right kind of place in our lives that we were able to make the move. So incredibly grateful that we were able to do that. Um, so we've been here since May, so not too far away from being a full year. But we're kind of loving it. Like we got through a whole summer, which is a lot more mad than as you can imagine. Um, and we're getting through the winter. Um, we haven't seen quite as much of extreme weather as I think people have said. Um, Obviously, we had the big storm that everyone in the UK got this weekend. A lot of people were experiencing snow. Um, Pretty much everyone, apart from people down in the south. So we've just had it was kind of mildly warm. And some of the highlights from last year that I kind of want to talk a little bit about. Apart from moving down here, two of the major ones for me were doing some more collabs with One on the Gang. The first one, I was invited up to London. There was a launch with One on the Gang for a new product, which I was incredibly fortunate to go and have a look at. The yarn that they were showing us was the One Wool, which is out now. Um, it's a really lovely yarn. I think they want to try and to make it a bit more of the kind of affordable everyday yarn, which it is more affordable than some of the others. But I mean, you are still paying for a brand, and the quality is still incredible. So I think if you are into your knitting, then I think you kind of think it is kind of expensive, but I think good quality yarn is from what I've seen. So yeah, I got to experience this new yarn. Got to see some of the things that they made with it, and the other thing that One of the Gang were releasing for that event was the new Twisted yarn, which is really fun. Like I really enjoy that yarn. I've used it before in the past. I was gifted the Boys Back sweater, which is one of their sweater kits for men that they released. I originally did it in burgundy, this like burgundy kind of red color. Um, and after the event, I got in contact with them, and um, I was able to get some of the yarn, and I have now made that sweater again, but in a blue, in different shades of blue as well. So it's kind of a little bit. There's a blue that kind of pops. I'll show you. Well, I'll cut myself in now, but I really enjoyed making this sweater again, and here's the two different sweaters side by side, so you can kind of see. Um, I did the first one, the red one, is definitely oversized. I went with the gauging that they kind of said, and I really like it. It's a really nice, cozy sweater. But the second time I made it, I want to make it. I wanted to make it fit a little bit better. Um, Partly because I've also been working out quite a lot for most of a year, I think now. Um, it's kind of part of my. I've just been wanting to get fitter, and I've been going to a CrossFit style gym, and I'm feeling a lot better about myself, and I feel like I wanted to have something that wasn't just oversized, and I wanted something that fitted a little bit better. Um, so I went with a slightly tighter fit. I actually dropped the needle size than what it was recommending because I wanted it to be a little bit more of a closer knit kind of end. And I'm not very good at like trying to change my tension. So instead of changing my tension, I thought I'd change the needle size, and I think it's turned out really well. I really like the colors. I really like the design for the Boys the Back Sweater. Most of you probably know that I don't go off a lot of patterns. I quite often create my stuff and just do my own thing. Um, but I do really like that pattern. I do find the One on the Gang patterns quite easy to follow as well. So they are the patterns that I've had most experience with. One of the yarns that they were showing us was a new yarn at the time called the One Yarn. It's a yarn that's meant to be more affordable, um, and it's really soft. It's really lovely. It's still a premium yarn. All of their stuff is still premium, um, but it is really lovely to use, and it is. I think their idea is that it's a little bit more of a um, everyday yarn. So something that you can just have in your stash ready to go for quite a lot of different types of projects. Um, and I got to see a good little range of the colours. I think I saw the whole range when I was there. Um, and I really like the green and the blue. So I emailed them and I was able to get some yarn so I can work on my pattern. And I am currently finishing it now, but I've just got to sew up one last edge. But by the time I've edited this, I will cut in a little video or a post now so you can see what it looks like. Um, but so that was the first event that I was invited to last year. And the second event that I was invited to by Will and the Gang again was at Alexandra Palace. They had a big crafting and knitting fair. The knitting and stitching show that happened in Alexandra Palace, a massive event that happens, I believe, every year. Um, and I got invited to that again as well as part of the One on the Gang kind of collaborating team or influencer team. So I got to again meet a load of other incredible fiber artists who have very different styles, who have used a lot of One of the Gang stuff. Um, I think most people. I don't think I really actually knew anyone. Haven't actually met anyone of them before, but I um, have followed and seen a lot of their work on social media before as well. So it was really cool meeting them and getting to chat to some of the people. Uh, One of the Gang had a little, well, quite a big central bit in one of the rooms where you could go and sit down and do a little knit along and get to use some of their yarn. They had a little um, hair tie pattern, but I was still working on one of the sweaters, which so I didn't actually take part in that thing. But I did sit around and chatted to a couple of people that were coming in and saying hi, um, and then the main event was a fashion show. The fashion show was in the middle of the really big hall, and they had a few talks and stuff going on throughout the day. But One of the Gang wanted to show off their yarn and some of their kits um, that they have created, and then what people in their community, in our community, have made using their yarn, which was incredible. I had a couple of choices that I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I ended up coming to the conclusion that I really wanted to show off this green cardigan. This green cardigan was something I made, I think, back in 2018, 2019 into 2020. Um, it was a cardigan I made for, there was an art opening at Coventry when I was living back in Coventry, where anyone could submit art of any different type, and I wanted to show fiber arts. So I created this green cardigan. that looked like it was unraveling, and Joy, my partner, came up with quite a awesome name, I think, called Unraveling Masculinity. Um, it's something as a male knitter I constantly get asked of, or people are surprised that I'm a guy that knits. So, um, and there's that perceived perception that knitting is more feminine and not as masculine. So I really like the name, stuck it with it, and it did make it into the exhibition, and it was in the exhibition for about 2 weeks, and then we all know what happened in 2020, and the exhibition had to close. Um, so unfortunately, only there was about 2 weeks where people could actually go and see it, and then it had to close down. Um, and then I was able to get it back, fortunately, but it took about a full year or so until people could actually get into the museum again, and I was able to get the piece back. So I thought that would be a perfect opportunity to show it off again, and I'm really glad I did. The feedback was really good. I got stopped by a couple of people after the event and wanted to chat a little bit more about it, and that was really fun. And yeah, that event. Actually, both of the events have made me really want to try and even harder to try and organize something that's um, like a creative space for people. And I think Cornwall, especially Newquay, is quite quiet around the winter. So I have plans to create a like crafting space. I don't want it necessarily to be just about knitting. I want it to be a space where people can come and create and craft and do something where they can either do their own thing or share their craft with other people, or people who don't really have a hobby or don't have a craft can come along and learn something new, which I think would be pretty exciting. So those are the kind of like big things that happened last year. And I'm quite excited about 2025. I'm hoping more things will happen. Um, but yeah, I look forward to hopefully making some more videos. I don't know how often it's going to be. Hopefully, maybe just a monthly check in, see how we're all getting on. Um, if you don't follow me already, make sure you follow me on YouTube. I do have a few videos on here. I've got a podcast series where I get to talk to incredible creators. This was all filmed and recorded during lockdown. Um, and also make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok because that is where most of my content is created and made for. You can find me on at Knitslips. There'll be links everywhere, I'm sure. But yeah, hopefully I will do more of these videos. Like, comment, subscribe, do all of that cool stuff. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.